Dave Anderson here with the Fisherman magazine. It's December 29th. These are your headlines. First and foremost, Happy New Year from all of us here at the Fisherman magazine. A couple headlines. Still hearing about good holdover striper action despite the cold and the ice. And safe ice is spreading southward from the north. Stay tuned for all that and more on this week's New England Fishing Forecast.
The Fishing News is sponsored by these fine partners.
So before we begin, we got a couple news items, and the first one I want to get to, of course, is the contest. We did not get a last-minute winner that kind of slid in under the tag. The two guys that had first and second place are still holding strong, and we're going to start it off with the winner. That was Richard Blades. Just really liked this shot of him with his dog, or dogs, and you know, the stormy surf behind him. Of course, this came in early in the contest, 6-7 weeks ago. But it really kind of captures that feeling of late fall run fishing, and just thought it was a really cool shot. So he's going to take home the Google Man Pikey. And then the second place winner is Tom Hode, and it's more a case of his tenacity than it is one photo just being better than all the others. This guy sent in so many photos during the contest, I just felt like I couldn't at least give him second place. So he's going to take home the glide bait, from Yozuri. And we're going to start another one as of last week. We're going to wrap this one up on March 1st. So we're going to have this be like the core of winter giveaway. And I'm going to build a jointed Gibbs troller, a GT. And that's a big plug, big surface plug that can also be trolled. And very rare plug from Gibbs back in the day, and was a secret weapon on the outer beaches. I got to make a few of them for myself, and one for one of our winners from earlier in the year. It was awarded right around the time things started going haywire for me, and I never got back into the shop. So we're going to get those done, and I'm going to paint this one up in kind of a winter-themed color. It'll be the only one like it I ever make, probably. So it should be a pretty cool plug. Should be a fun build for me, and get those photos in to me at danderson@thefisherman.com, or text them to the number on the screen. And as always, when you email me these things, please put giveaway in the title. It makes it a lot easier for me to find them after the fact. So please do that, and we'll crown another winner in a couple months. The other news item that we have is going to come to us from our video guy, Tim C. Smith. He's going to give us a quick rundown of the final results of both the Dreamboat Challenge and the Coastal Kayak Clash.
The 2022 Dreamboat Challenge has concluded with two former grand prize winners duking it out. When the dust settled, we found ourselves looking at a unique finish. Former winner Garrett Weir pulled some ninth inning heroics with a mammoth 17.85-pound blackfish right out of the end of the competition, which put him in second place overall behind another former champion, Sam Dibner. One of the rules of the Dreamboat Challenge is that former winners of the grand prize cannot win it again, so the Craft 23 Miami, powered by a Yamaha 200 horsepower outboard, defaults to the next person on the leaderboard who has not previously taken home the grand prize. That person was Connecticut resident Rob Carazano. Congratulations, Rob. And also our fourth place winner, Bill Costa, and to all the anglers who participated. Of course, there would be no Dreamboat without our sponsors, Craft, Yamaha, Humminbird, Minn Kota, Marina Pez Vela, Engel, Finnor, Accurate Reels, Global Fish Mounts, Tsunami, Sea Eagle, Dexter, Owner, and Orion. For a complete Dreamboat overview, go to thefisherman.com or pick up a copy of our January issue. And as for the Coastal Kayak Clash, the winner is Justin Oser. Second place winner is Bob Wagner. And third place winner is Tom Howd. These kayak anglers competed throughout the region in what was an epic battle. Here are the final standings. For the full story, go to thefisherman.com or pick up the January issue of the Fisherman magazine. Special thanks to Hobie Kayaks, Humminbird, Penn, Fenwick, Yak Lights, Malone, and Yak Attack.
Now we're going to head over into Massachusetts, and right now, especially coastal Massachusetts, for the most part, fishing is kind of on hold. Most of the ponds around the coast of Massachusetts look like this one. There's ice out there, but you couldn't walk on it, and you're certainly not going to cast through it. So A lot of guys are just kind of twiddling their thumbs right now, unless they're fishing rivers or they're doing some holdover striper stuff in Boston Harbor around the Amelia Earhart Dam, or maybe somewhere up on the Merrimack River somewhere. But other than that, you know, all around Boston, down through Plymouth, we're seeing a lot of skim ice like this, and it's making it hard or impossible for people to successfully do any fishing at all. So that's kind of the story for all of coastal New England, with the exception of Cape Cod, which still somehow has open water. The story from the guys at the Goose is that the brown trout fishing has been very good at night, and they said that this kind of lasts well into January. So it's a nighttime thing. So you got to pick your nights. Some of these warmer nights, we got a bunch of those coming up here, and probably the best way to get it done is with live shiners. But you can also throw little jerk baits and things of that nature. If you go out in the daytime, you're still going to have a good shot at getting a nice brown, but you're also going to get some rainbows, tigers, and brookies mixed in. So trout fishing out on the Cape is looking really good right now. Most of everything else that we're hearing in Massachusetts is just a waiting game. A lot of guys waiting around. Unless you head way inland, and for a little rundown on that, we're going to toss it over now to our friend Roy Leyve.
Hey Dave, Roy Leyve here with this week's Western Mass Report. I'll give you the scoop. We've got some safe ice now. We might not have any safe ice tomorrow. Temps are going to jump up into the 50s here tomorrow, Friday. And then we're going to get rain, 50s over the weekend, and then a warm spell through the whole entire week. I doubt any of this ice is going to last. And for what we have now, we're looking at ½ inch to about 4 inches. I'm on 4 inches now. It's nice black ice. This has got a little bit of snow on it. It fell overnight, but you know, for the most part, it's really nice, solid black ice. I just don't think it's going to make it through the weekend or even into the weekend. So take caution. If you do plan to head out this way and check ice, you know, bring the spud bar. Really check it out on the way out. You know, don't be a fool. Unless you're really seasoned on ice fishing, I wouldn't recommend it until things get really well and we get some good 4+ inches of ice. So with that said, I will touch back next week and keep you guys posted on what's going on out here in Western Mass. Other than that, the fishing is good. Rivers are kind of blown out from all that rain we got, but the jigging and I can imagine tip-ups right now. You know, first ice is always good fishing. So little low right now. Ice was cracking and splitting a little while ago. I think it really turned them on and had things going, but now it's kind of slowed down a little bit. So gave me a chance to make this report for this week, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.
Heading over into Rhode Island, you know, we've had a really blustery, cold, stormy, and that storm was insane. Crazy storm. And that definitely put a damper on fishing efforts in the Sound, in the ocean out around Block. But they are starting to venture out again now. Haven't heard too many reports, but I have heard, you know, that the guys that have gotten out are still getting codfish, are still getting sea bass, are still getting a few porgies out around Coxes Ledge. I know that the Black Hawk is planning to make a couple of these trips before the end of the year. So if you want to get in on that, I would call them ASAP. You might be able to jump aboard today or tomorrow and you know, cash in on your last good trip of the season. Seems like the bite has been very good out there, and there's no reason to think that it's going to slow down. So that would be a great option. The other thing that I did here is I got another tog report just after last week's video, and I said things were slowing down. We heard from Captain Connor McLeod from Tall Tales Charters, and you know, once again, they got into some decent tog and a few, you know, small keeper-sized codfish. So these fish are in deeper water. You know, you're fishing in 100+ feet of water, but the bite is still going on. And I guess there's no reason to think it's going to end before the end of the year when the season closes. So if you've got your boat in the water, or if you got a buddy that does, or you want to jump on, you know, the Black Hawk or the 7Bs or the Francis Fleet or any of these other party boats that run out of Point Jude or areas nearby, make it happen, because you know, the fishing's probably as good as I've ever seen it coming into the last week of December. So you know, make hay while the sun shines. For a little bit more on that, on that region and what's going on, let's toss it over now to Captain John Lee from JL Charters.
I hauled the boat yesterday, which is always kind of bittersweet, but it's in my backyard. I've got some projects to do. A couple of nights ago, I was part of a bottom fishing seminar, blackfish, fluke, sea bass, codfish, and I pulled some interesting things from it, even though I was one of the speakers. And I think we all do different things, some better than others, and I'm not really into rigs and knots. I kind of fish the way I always fish. It's a little bit old school, but I do love searching out new structure, new ridges, new edges, and that's the kind of thing that I ruminate on over the winter and get excited about for this coming season. So that's what I got for this week, and I'll bring that up again and again this winter. Take care.
And the last thing we're hearing about Rhode Island is just some holdover striped bass fishing, which has been decent. You're definitely going to run into some ice issues because a lot of the waters in Rhode Island that hold holdover bass tend to be, they're slow moving, and that makes them prone to freezing. So you may want to check in with somebody who lives closer by if you're going to travel a long way to go fish some of those spots. But the bass have still been biting, and as long as there's no ice on the water, there's no reason not to go. With this warming trend that we're seeing over the next week and a half plus, I would expect all these places to open back up and fishing to resume in any place that's been skimmed over. So definitely, keep your eye on the ice and try to make it happen over these next few days. Over in Connecticut, you don't really have that many saltwater options unless you're going to hop on the Black Hawk and go do some of that Coxes Ledge or south of Block stuff for the sea bass and the codfish. But one saltwater species that's still seeing a lot of action in Connecticut is of course a striped bass. Both the Housatonic and the Thames River are reportedly still open. Maybe not completely, but there's still plenty of open water for shore and boat anglers to cash in on the action. The Hoosies definitely got a better bite going on and bigger fish, especially for the night guides. But both places are producing fish and have water suitable for fishing. The other thing that guys get into at this time of the year is fishing for trout on like the Salmon River and especially the Farmington River. Great time of year for brown trout. We see some really nice fish caught at this time of the year. As the flows kind of increase, guys start to throw bigger offerings. A lot of big streamer flies seem to get the job done at this time of the year. For a little bit more on that, we're going to toss it over now to Derrick Kirkpatrick from Connecticut Guide Service, and he's going to give us a little rundown of what's going on in the Farmington.
Hey Dave, so since our last report, things have kind of progressed. Flows are starting to stabilize. Last we spoke about your Ephemerella or crawler nymphs being active with sun spikes on sunny days. That's still going to hold true, but other entomology is starting to enter the mix. So stoneflies start to become a major part of trout's diet in the winter. So small stones ranging from 18 all the way up to the large ones, the size 8s. The larger ones are going to be better in low light periods, but your smaller ones can be in the latter part of the afternoon. You can start to see those become active. Along with stoneflies, you're going to want to be on the lookout for midges, anywhere from 18s to 22s, 24s, and those are also a common food source for trout in the winter. Your toughest days are going to be your overcast days. You're not going to have the sun spikes. The entomology may not be that good. You may not have any active hatches. If you have an active hatch on an overcast day, a warmer overcast day, the fishing can be pretty good. But those sun spike days are going to be still the consistent days, and those are the days you're probably going to get some fair numbers on our local trout streams. Outside of that, your jigs and streamers, larger food items, those are still accounting for the large fish. Fish are still looking to pack on a little weight for the winter, and they'll feed on those throughout the winter, but they don't want to move far or move quickly. So if you are fishing streamers or jig streamers, you want to fish them slow. Oftentimes cast them upstream and work them downstream, almost just staying in contact with the fly, barely moving them up at all. On warmer days, when there's a lot of activity and the fish are revved up, your typical down and across methods will work, and they will move for streamers on those days. Back to you, Dave.
Now, outside of the Farmington, you can fish any one of the TMAs, and you're going to have a really good shot at finding some fish. You can also go on the Deep website and find places that were recently stocked near your home. Anything that was stocked in October, November, December is definitely going to give you a really good shot at hooking up. And the state does a phenomenal job stocking all the waters throughout the state, so you've got a really good shot at hooking up on some trout pretty much no matter where you fish right now, as long as it's a stocked body of water, of course. The other thing that guys get excited about at this time of the year, of course, is the pike fishing. Connecticut has some great pike fishing, and it's mostly ice right now, and the guys that are doing it are traveling far north. They're heading up toward the Massachusetts border, they're heading up into the northwest corner of the state. Places like Villanova and Bantam. Those are two places that see early ice often. I don't know for a fact that they're definitely safe right now, but those are two places you could definitely check. And we have seen some reports of pike taken through the ice. We've seen some reports of bass and perch taken through the ice. So things are looking good. So far, the coves of the Connecticut River are not yet safe. So, you know, whatever ice they have on them, probably like this place, definitely not safe. Might be a little thicker than this, but probably going to lose its ice over these next 10 days when we see this warm up. So, you know, ice fishermen that really salivate over that are going to have to hold their breath a little bit longer. As we head west up to the western end of the state, that's more of the same story. Any one of the TMAs is producing fish. I haven't really heard much about any largemouth bass action, although I'm sure that it can be found in any open water right now. And then, of course, we have the Housatonic. But for more on that, let's toss it over now to Max Finch from Fisherman's World.
It's the week before New Year's, and there's still some good fishing to be had. Our trout are biting in our local rivers, like the Mianus, Norwalk River, and Saugatuck River. This is the last week you could fish the reservoir. We've seen some nicer trout, smallmouth bass, and some walleye. On the saltwater side of things, the herring are kind of scattered throughout our area. We're hearing some guys getting some here and there. I mean, you really got to put your time in. I would try, like, Norwalk Harbor, the mouth of the Southport River, along our beaches, Calf Pasture Pier. Hopefully they move in heavier, moving into January. And then all eyes are still on the Housatonic for everybody looking to get on their winter holdover striped bass. It's not frozen over yet, so you can still fish it. Nighttime is definitely going to be your best time to get the bigger fish. I would say from the sports complex all the way up. Your favorite soft plastic on a lead head. Really slow retrieves. Thanks and good luck.
And to wrap things up in Connecticut, let's toss it over now to Rowan Lytle.
Hey everyone. Obviously we continue to have very erratic weather here in Connecticut. The last couple days and probably into tomorrow, there's been some safe ice further north in the Connecticut River Valley and the surrounding hills. That will decrease pretty rapidly as we go into the warm weather. The best thing I can tell you all is be very mobile and cover some ground regardless of what species you're fishing for. Right now, water levels are very different river to river. Ice safety is very different. Some bodies of water are fully open. There's a little bit of open water fishing. But it's going to be tricky. It'll warm up dramatically. That'll get the trout fishing going. There might be some decent opportunities for open water pike fishing in the river itself. And you'll have the opportunities in the backwaters for some panfish if those open up as well, which they should. I mean, we're looking at temperatures in the 50s and some rain. So, yeah, there will be decent fishing in the Connecticut River the next few days. But, yeah, keep mobile, move around. You might need to change your plans depending on what you find when you get there. That's what I've been finding the last few days, and I'm sure to continue for the rest of the week. Good luck out there, everyone.
And last but not least for the reports, we're going to take a little flight down to Costa Rica now and hear what's going on at Marina Pez Vela.
Hey there guys, and a happy new year. This is Ben Gilmour from Marina Pez Vela, Costa Rica. We're experiencing a red hot billfish bite right now. The blue marlin bite 20 to 30 miles off the Marina Pez Vela has been nothing short of phenomenal the last few weeks. Lots and lots of blue marlin, many boats going out and catching 2, 3, 4 marlin in a day. We got a few striped marlin mixed in also, and our sailfish bite has really picked up this week as well. Just in time for one of our biggest tournaments of the calendar, we got the Pelagic Rockstar happening over the 11th, 12th, 13th of January here at the Marina Pez Vela. It's going to be a big one. Last year, over $1 million on the line. Let's see what happens this year, but we're expecting more than 80 boats. Don't miss this one, guys. We'd love to see you down here in Costa Rica. This is Ben Gilmour with Jackpot Sport Fishing.
And that's what I have for you guys in the reports this week. Hopefully you're going to make use of what I've got there. Definitely was tougher getting reports. A lot of the shops are closed in between Christmas and New Year's, so we did our best. I do think that there are plenty of options out there, and once this ice decides whether it's going to melt or harden up, we can all get back to fishing along the coast here. As I always say, if you're not a subscriber to the Fisherman, I highly suggest heading over to the website. We've got enough free content on there for you to get a good flavor of what we offer. Cover everything from Delaware all the way to Maine. Every species you can think of that swims in those waters, whether it's fresh or salt, whether you catch it from the surf, kayak, boat, paddleboard, going offshore, whatever it is, we've got it covered. And as I always say, it's the best $30 you can spend in fishing. Maybe start off your new year with a new subscription. At the very least, though, give us a like and subscribe here on YouTube and hit that little bell thing down there so you get a notification every time we post something new. Don't forget to enter in the contest. I appreciate you guys for watching, and we'll see you next week.